Hello everyone, it's Sloth, and today we are going with very interesting, very classical control that is focused about countering enemy cards, because I really wanted to play something that just counters everything enemy plays and then I'm happy inside. That was the idea, and I wanted control that does it. However, being a brewer, I wanted to make something interesting and I put some extra cards. I will talk about the reasoning. It's not a meme. You will sit in the games and it's actually so extremely strong against some decks that you will be baffled. And it is reflected in the win rate, because we are actually at 80% win rate in Mythic with this deck, which is mind-blowing. I knew it can work, but I didn't think it will work so greatly. And this is due to the ladder being so aggressive that we just capitalize on in very weird way, but very funny way. So really stay tuned for the intro and for the games, because I think they're really entertaining, and if you like control and don't like Boros, you will be in heaven. So with that being said, let's go into the deck list and talk about the details, because I'm really excited for this one. Alright, and we are in the deck list. So, man, I want to talk about this so much. It's so fun, and just for you, if you are thinking about watching all the intros, so what you will see in the video today, you will see a lot of aggro smashing with Shadow of Mortality. Other than this, we will play like typical control, and this is hard control. So we are not really focused on the removal as much as in the other decks, but here we really, I just wanted to counter everything. So for this reason we have a lot of counter spells, basically 12, but we can get even more with Devious Cover-Up. So basically we just counter. However, our finishers are just epic, and you want to see those games, and we are playing against tier 1 decks with 80% win rate. So yeah, I'm baffled. I thought it's more of a fun deck that will maybe be competitive and, not lose you the rank. But honestly, looking at the results and how aggressive ladder is just completely answering one of the things enemy decks love doing to you, making the damage to your HP total. And we abuse this so hard, because I have noticed that every single Boros deck that I'm playing against, for some reason, wants to reduce my life total to 0. And I thought, hey, maybe there's a card that gets better when my life is low. And jokes aside, Shadow of Mortality, very funny card, but it's actually pretty perfect against Boros when you think about it. So it's a 15 mana, 7/7, without the text. Amazing, right? Quality card. However, when you are at 7 HP, it means this is just a 2 mana for the 7/7. It's basically a blocker in the matchups where we want to get it, basically. But 2 mana means that you keep up the shields. And this is something I really like about, combining it with the control deck, because what is always the case with control decks? When you are getting control, you are at 5 to 7 HP, something like this always, and you are barely hanging in. And you want to keep counter spells while playing something. And this card just does it, because for 2 mana you play a huge creature, and then you leave up your negates, syncopates, instant removals, even like something crazy good like this, or just a card draw with Bankbusters. And then enemy needs to really think about a way how to answer a 7/7. And when the meta is just control decks, it's not hard, because this dies to every Infernal Grasp, every counter spell, every Bloodchief, even with the kicker. So it's not really good against control decks. But we aren't playing against control decks. We are playing against burn decks that don't even run black. And this means that they cannot destroy creatures unconditionally. They just deal damage. And 7 toughness is a bane of damage-based removal, because they cannot kill it. Even if they have Raiju or Cavalier attacking you, do they really pay 4 mana and double Royal, or whatever it's called, to kill this creature? So basically trade 3 for 1, and you can just counter one of them and save the creature and they get nothing. It's actually insane. And the fact that every single attack that they do means that they need to sacrifice one of their creatures really helps up with the tempo. So this is a very weird deck. We will talk about the control part, but I think the Shadow of Mortality is a big surprise for me at least. And I got interested by this card after playing those games because it seems to really fit in Boros meta so well. It's fun, but in the games I've played it really worked nicely, and you will see those. So in reality, normally how you play this card is you have the deck that pains yourself and you go into 7 life even if you play against control. That's the idea behind the card, basically. But given the meta is so aggressive, we don't need to do anything of this, because enemy will make sure that our life is as low as it's possible. And with control deck, you can decide how low you get. Because very often you will see in one of the games, I actually enabled some of the attacks because I wanted to have the discount. And as long as you have 1 life, it means you win the game and you have very cheap creatures. If you go to 0, that's bad. If you go above 0, that's no difference how much life do you have. And that's the idea behind it. So we even run the life gain in this deck. It also helps because you can go into 7 life, cast all of the shadows that you have in the hand, and then in the next turn get back to like stable life gain and stable like life total with March, with the backwater. Well, okay, maybe not the backwaters, but you get the idea. And with the Meathook. So we have a lot of ways to heal a bit, and this will stabilize the game. And you know, 7 is not a little amount of HP. If you have 7, it means that you are resistant to all the burn spells, and you have so much counter spells that they really have trouble to sneak anything that threatens you. Because if they have Raiju or something like this, this is really this is really weak to Syncopate, because they need to tap out so much mana. If they make some weak creature, you don't care because it doesn't deal enough damage. So very interesting concept. I want to hear from you guys what you think about it, because maybe this card is underplayed. It seems really good when you are it's in such aggressive meta. And I should probably talk about the rest of the deck, right? Because we are talking whole intro about this one card. Other than this, we have a lot of counter spells. We have Devious Cover-Up, so we have double Devious Cover-Up for a potentially infinite value, and the big engines for the deck, because this is basically 1-for-1 counter spells and removal for everything. So I decided that we need a lot of card draw to compensate, so we get ahead in time. And I have thought that Bankbuster is basically like the best card draw that we can have. Memory Deluge is great, but it's so clunky, and good enemies will pressure you every turn. So while we have it, I wanted something more flexible, more cheap, and like while having Negate, Syncopates, every mana counts, and we can really optimize how much mana we use with the Bankbusters. It also solves the problem with finishing the games. So with Control you have this problem. With Reckoner Bankbusters you will get those 4/4s sooner or later, and usually you can protect them if you really care about closing the game this way. They are also great blockers, so I thought that this is really good card to get as a main card draw, and you will also have Siphon Insight for some supplementary draw. And it's also a fun card. I really wanted to play with this today, and I did. So if you are a fan, it fits the deck nicely, but the Bankbusters is like the big card draw. And this is the deck mainly. We have split Meathook and Verdicts because I'm really fancy of Shadow Verdicts lately, because against Angers, things like this, all the tokens that enemies seem to produce infinitely, it really is good card. It also gets rid of all the tenacious underdogs, and there is some problem with the Meathook when you are on the draw. If you cannot ramp, this card very often never clears the board. We have some ramp with Celestus and some ramp with the Bankbuster, but it's so slow that most of the time you don't really have this ramp. And with Shadow Verdict, whenever you have 5 mana, you just can clear the board. It doesn't hit Raiju, and that's a big problem, so we need to be aware of it. And usually when, you know, enemy can cast Raiju, you need to be ready with counterspell or removal and get rid of this at end step or attack phase, whatever. Just make sure that the board is only 3 cost or less. So that's my experience, and I really like Shadow Verdict. It seems to be like very solid remover, even though it's so heavy conditional. The meta is just so aggressive that it basically is a sweeper with no downsides most of the time. Meathook Massacre is good because it helps you as an enchantment. This is something Shadow Verdict doesn't have, and like when you have this in the board, even just without sweeping effect, the fact that every of those cards has the text gain 1 life, gain 1 life, gain 1 extra life, gain 1 life, lose 1 life. This is so much like helping the game that I feel it's worth to split for both of them. At least in this deck it felt right. So with that being said, I think that's the deck, and Syncopate really my favorite lately because it combines both benefits of a hard counter, because it's never a dead card like Jwari and Make Disappear, while basically being a Jwari. You just don't have this land upside, but other than this, it's basically a better Jwari, right? And we know how good Jwari can be. So I really like this card. I want to play it more. Yeah, that's the deck. Sorry for the rambling. I feel that I went way too long on the Shadow of Mortality, but I took this card a bit as a meme, and after playing with this, I want to experiment more. And for anyone wondering, if you are in matchup that doesn't let it play you because you are at 20, well, you have a bit of a problem, but first of all, you can think about it in advance. So if enemy plays like Eyetwitch, Shambling Gust, maybe you should let them hit you for like 10 turns. Something like this, you know? And maybe don't heal so much then. And if not, you probably are against like control matchup, and you can see how much we have for control matchups, and we still have the holes, we have the Bankbusters, and we have like what, 10, 12 counterspells with ones that shuffle counterspells back into the game. So basically you can have infinite, and as long as you can cast it for like 7 or something like this, at some point you can finish the game with this. And this is also the reason why we have Hive and Hall of the Storm Giants, because they can finish the game if the Bankbusters and Shadows cannot. So I hope you enjoyed the intro. I hope you enjoyed this massive rambling about the Shadow of Mortality and also the rest of the deck. So hopefully it wasn't extremely too long. And with that being said, if you like classic control decks, except this part, but this part, this is something we will play a lot. I really wanted to go back to basics with counter spells and not just removing creatures only over and over. So I think this deck really hits the spot of being a control and being still fun and have twist that makes it interesting. So if you like this kind of deck, subscribe to the channel, as always. I really do appreciate it. And let's go into the games and finally have some action, right? Alright, we are going first. We have Jwari, we have some remover, that's pretty sweet. Probably we should go for Jwari. And when you see so valuable cards, man, like Jwari is so good here. But with Syncopate, I think we have a bit of time at least. Okay, that's a good one. So we activate Syncopate right now, then we activate the black mana, and then we go for this, I guess, Naturalist. This is a really good target for the Ray. And this is a very decent draw, because right now we can destroy this, and also make sure that we have Syncopate up for the next play. It's not the best Syncopate, but it means that he cannot make a, like, Runeforge Master or whatever it's called. So far so good. Now we do activate Memory Deluge, that's a very important card here. And I would heavily want to cast it right now, because that might be the last moment when there's no pressure. Like, already in the board. So the only pressure will be what he plays, instead of it's already there. Sure. I do not mind this one. You also can let him go like crazy with the board and then Shadow Verdict. And right now he doesn't want to play the rest because he's fearing the counter spells. And thanks to this we have so much value here. Alright, Shadow of Mortality. We have land for the next turn. I will take this, and it's probably Jwari. It might not be the best choice, but I will still take it. Alright, we go like this. My voice cracks. And given this is always... like, this is anti-synergy. But don't you worry, enemy will at some point lower our HP so much that we won't believe. And I really want to start drawing cards. When we do this setup, we heal and we make sure that we get a card draw. Enemy is so forced to just go all in and heavily on the board. Okay, you got it, probably. So, this happened. We need to go with very high control value, but as you can see it's just 2 damage, so not really anything scary. And we can start countering his next place whenever you cast, so that's a problem. Alright. We definitely have some mortality included. And I think that's the thing. Yeah, it's per spell, so if he copies it with this one, it's not like the same. So right now I think he will go like super crazy. Oh, that's an interesting one. There is a big chance that we counter this one. Unless he pays the mana. Yeah, he needs to decide right now. That's sweet. Alright. So he decided to keep up this mana for Jwari. Pretty smart. So do we counter it? We still get to draw a card, so I think it's worth it. Like, we in the end get the card out of this play. And also the Bankbuster, and also the Pilot, and also the Treasure. So much stuff. We could kill this if we wanted, but I think with Shadow Verdict it's not worth it. Also, with this deck you really want to control how much enemy hits you. Okay, those are all 3 from the deck. This is all that we are playing, so Magic, come on, it's a bit too much. Alright, so for this reason, I think that we actually want to take some damage. It's weird, but that seems to be a really good line of play, so I hope he pumps at least to 8 damage. We need to... Man, this is such a weird combination, because we want to triple cast those. Then we cast Shadow Verdict and attack him and win. That's the game plan. Let's put it here, right? Like, do we kill something? We need to go for how much? We need to lose 9 lives, so we need to go to 7, so 9 damage. This will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Huh. Okay, I think we still have 1 more spell to go. Like, this is a big difference whether it's 2 or 3 mana. You want to, like, at least double. Oh, but we need Swamp. But we probably will draw 1. And then we double cast them. With some shielding, hopefully. And we get the treasure from the Bankbuster. So enemy will draw a card, but with Shadow Verdict we don't really care how much is in the board, unless it kills us. And he needs to be scared out of counterspells a bit. Okay, okay. Alright, that's some damage. So now everything that he pumps is excess damage that we don't super want, really. I think this is the moment that we want to draw. We get the Pilot. Enemy might have something to answer it, but we might also hit something like this. And that's pretty sweet. Okay, that's full mana. And with the Pilot we can control exactly how much damage we get dealt. And I think we will take everything, most likely. It will probably prevent this 1 damage. Man, playing with those cards is so weird. Alright, that's really good. That's actually super good for us, because we don't really want to block with this one. We don't want to prevent 5 damage. So we will take quite a lot. We will be at 4, I believe. Right? 12, 13. Okay, so we will be even lower. But we do not die, and they do not run red for the haste runes. So it's fine. And this will help us so much with the shadows. This deck is really hard to play for this reason. You actually want to get some damage through. That's a perfect draw. And I think this is pretty good. Oh yes, it's all coming together. And guess what? We can start attacking already. Oh man, next turn it will be much cooler. It will be 11 damage next turn. And with March we can get back to whatever we feel comfortable. We can even exile those, so at max we can march for 5. Alright. That's a thingy. Enemy has only 1 card outside of this. If he thinks that's his only problem, oh boy, is he wrong. Oh boy, he has so much more to worry for. That's so cool. You could think that 21 mana of 7/7s is too much. No, it's definitely not. Oh my god. I think that this deserves an emote. Alright, let's play like this with the Hive. And I'm not extremely scared, so we will just screw. Because this 4 damage might be a big difference, especially while we have the Hive. And we probably will use the March on whatever this attack is. But I don't even think he has the capability to give flying to the creatures. He needs what, 7 or more? He has only 3, so with 2 cards, like, he needs a perfect draw. And that was it? Like 3 Shadows of Death. If you made fun during the intro, oh my god, Sloth, that's such a meme. Easy, beating tier 1 enchantments with this. Oh man, that was a fun game. Alright, we are going first with honestly amazing hand. This hand has it all. And I mean mostly this 1 life gain. Well, jokes aside, I actually start liking this card so much. Like healing 2 or 3 extra life during the game for free. Well, for tapped land, right? But it's still nearly free. It's pretty darn sweet. Oh man, such a good draw. We just need to not whiff on the mana. How do we do it? Is Syncopate better? Syncopate is good enough. Let's just make sure that we do it the right way. Flunk. Flunk is very situational. And our Syncopate counters every single thing. By the way, what the hell? Magic. Yeah. So Syncopate is a bit superior in this situation. I really like this card. You make a stop because you don't want to go into combat phase. No, you don't. And we also heal some. That's so sweet. Even if he wants to kill it, it's even better because we heal anyway. So even if he has play with fire, there's no sense in using it. If we knew we hit the lamp, we might play differently. Oh right, I used Flunk. In my mind, I didn't have Syncopate because I used it. Like, I'm just such a great player. And I was just bamboozled. Why I have Syncopate? Did I drew another one? Yeah, sure. Just burn, bro. Like, those cards only are good when enemy is like 5 HP or something. Otherwise, you basically trade the value for nothing. This is a card that does nothing except scry. Alright, so how do we do it? We really like enemy to be tapped out. Oh, he must be so happy about it. Nope. Denied. And we heal even more. Back to 22. And the set initiate. The only problem is then, but I feel that with 21 life, with 22 life, see, this 2 extra life. So worth it. The enemy needs to go a bit wider to pressure us enough, and then we have Meathook. Yeah, so the tokens will be left. That's pretty smart by him. It also levels the initiate. Memory Deluge. Yeah, I will take one more hit. You know, we like losing HP with this deck. Sure. And Meathook Massacre will be a lot of healing. So I do not care as much. We can do it right now, I guess. We might draw, you know, Ray of Enfeeblement or something like this. How do we play this? I think it's this and Bankbuster. We kill this, we play the Bankbuster, and we still have so much HP. I would love to land. If I could kill the land, I would get the double Meathook then. But you know, it's fine. Everything perfectly calculated. And don't forget, enemy cannot really do anything except playing this stuff. If he wants to pressure us this way. That's weird, okay. Auto tapper, what's up? I think enemy feels that he needs to do something stronger with the Bankbuster. Yeah, that's what I thought. Which one we will choose? Oh, those are some really good cards. For this reason, we cannot draw anyway. So let's just make sure that we have very cool removal. No Ray in this situation, because while it's really good, it might not be what we need in the last turn of the game. Enjoy your 1/1s. Okay, this is irritating because we cannot really counterplay it very easily. However, I actually would really like my shadows. That's another Bankbuster. Alright, so what is the play? He is really encouraged to play a creature next turn. If he attacks, it's what? He's tapped out perfectly, he wastes this. It's 3/6. Then we heal back to 5. And then he can get us to 1 again. That's a bit scary. So I think we do it like this. And we still get some mana for the Syncopate. So if he doesn't draw a land and plays another Raiju, we can counter it and win the game probably. And if that will be a Cavalier, that's a problem, but then we don't get hit by land and we are at 7. And we can draw cards. Easy. Easy magic. So the reason I thought he will play like this is mostly because he has this one Kumano trigger and they don't really want to waste it. And that's Field of Ruin, my friend. What do you think about Field of Ruins? I'm a huge fan myself. And I'm not playing the Bankbuster because he knows he cannot activate the den. We can get hit. Oh, he actually doesn't know about it. Cool. And that was a mistake. I should wait when there's a stop before, when enemy wants to go into combat phase. That's where we should do it. Right now he can play a 2-drop with haste. So that's a big, bad play on my part. I want all of you. Alright, so we go for black mana because we might draw Death Shadows and we want a lot of those. First let's burn his mana. Man, mana burn was such a fun concept. I actually didn't realize that it was changed. You know what, that's not as scary. Alright, let's draw and see what we will get. You know, that's a lot of damage mitigation in reality. I think Memory Deluge is pretty good here. Definitely March. Syncopate is a bit slow. But with the healing runs, by the way, if not those runs, we would be at 3. And now we are at 6. So it really gives us quite a bit of time. Alright, this one will be scary, but if he wants to play something with haste, he risks Raijufing again. Oh, I'm not sad at all. I'm so happy. Oh yes, that feels so great. Can you feel the Boros salt coming out of this avatar? You can just sense it. He's just not happy about the result. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, the closer. We could even attack, but against this kind of deck I don't want to. And shadows are really hard for him to break. Even with this, he needs something with 5 power. They do not have creatures so big. So right now we can trade. Every attack that he makes until the end of the game is basically losing him 1 creature. We can tap out. If he has double burn, he still doesn't. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh, the control power is flowing through me right now. What do we want? Both are bad. I will take the Brutal Qatar for some reason. There are so many cool cards. Why we had to get this one? Let's go for Bankbuster. We could go for creatures, but where's the fun in it? With so much mana, we can Syncopate. So basically, our game attacking is not the way. This is just a big blocker. It's basically a defender in my deck. And generally, we won't lose as long as the enemy doesn't kill us, because we have so much card advantage. I might attack after I use double Memory Deluge, double Bankbuster, Siphon Insight, and he will scoop in probably 2 or 3 turns at most. So attacking is just a very stupid choice. Yeah, read the card. Read your Bane, your arch nemesis of Shadow of Mortality. Now you will never want to, to attack us again. So he can deal 3 damage to the face, so we are at 6. I do not super care, honestly. Like, if that's the call, what will he do, really? Now, like, we are at 6, he needs 2 more of the burn spells, and we get healed by Meathook Massacres anyway. So we probably will heal more than he deals. And we are so far, man, like, those backwaters really changed the game. Like, this is basically a 1 extra burn spell that they need to draw. And very often you know that we lose by having... Oh, no, bro, no. Sometimes you don't attack with Boros. Even with Boros. So, with that being said, let's draw some cards. And right now we can be very aggressive very quickly if we care. And this is how we win the game, right? Whenever we have stuff like this, and we can just flank right now, this makes attacking much easier, and of course in the next turn we will just smork him to oblivion, and he will regret playing Boros. Back to 8, easy, and let's well, I guess if we play this, yeah, we play this one, we have enough mana for counterspells. And we do not need then other blockers. So for this reason we just attack, and next turn he dies. However, this is theoretically, like, if I was off camera I would really not play anything, not make any attacks, because this is how we can lose. This was the turn when, if he stacked enough threats that we cannot answer all of them, maybe he sneaks, but it was like he needed like some extremely good draw, and I don't think even that would make it. So, Shadow of Mortality. Told you it's amazing freaking card. Alright, we are going first. We have some tap lands, but other than this we have full anti-aggro. We have anti-aggro lands, anti-aggro cards, everything against aggro. And we will meet aggro. Change of plans. Enemy didn't play anything, and we got untapped land and Bankbuster, so this is actually extremely important. You don't want to waste even single mana. Enjoy your surprise. Control decks unite. Alright. They both come tapped, so we might as well play this one. And you know, 22, easy. One target, one attack nullified. We can feel very proud of ourselves. I don't really care about this one attack. And with this deck, let's be honest, we actually don't mind the damage at all. As long as it doesn't kill us, it only makes us stronger. And I definitely want to start drawing cards, because we don't have other side of the deck. We don't have exactly anything that counters this crap. Well, that is painful, but we'll just use Bloodchief first on this one, so let's start drawing cards. We need Bankbuster power. Alright, I wish I had it before, but you know, I'm not complaining. Sloth never complains. Never. Alright, let's go for Bloodchief first. We don't care about this one, but you know, the token from side effect of a saga enchantment that goes into legendary creature that needs to be removed is definitely the tier 1 target. Alright, we really want to keep drawing, because I want to use this Jwari as a counter generally at some point. Or at least have the possibility to do so. Alright, so we are against Rakdos control. At some point, my friend, you might regret those Infernal Grasps. But in all seriousness, it's probably the best choice from his side. However, he doesn't really do much so far. And we have really good removal. The Ray, of course, not the perfect for the matchup. Sure. If you have to. Maybe we can draw into Shadow Verdict. That would be a 3 for 1. I would not mind it. I'm not sure if it's Anvil deck. Usually every single Rakdos plays Anvil because it's so insanely oppressively good. Huh. Is this worth the Jwari? I'm honestly not sure. That's a really hard choice. I think I will risk it. I can see this being a bad play that will lose us the game. But I'm greedy. I want my cards. I really want my cards so much. And we can draw for 1 mana basically next turn, so that's pretty huge as well. And thanks to our insane greed, we were rewarded by a land. By a land. Enemy doesn't have fancy lands, so we can play like this, I think. You know, I'm a greedy person, I just want my lands. What's better, we might actually activate with the pilot, and the second Bankbuster might block. I do not think I will go for it, but enemy needs to consider it, and if he's smart, he will see that that's a play. Alright, so it's either a very good bait. Do we test it? If we fail and enemy can remove the Bankbuster, which is very likely looking at his cards, then we lose 3 cards basically, and that's huge. I guess we have Treasure and Jwari, but Infernal Grasp is just 2 mana. Maybe we just flank it or whatever. Oh man, that's pretty smart by him. I kinda hate it. It might be Deadly Dispute as well. He knows exactly that we have this card. I'm so confused how to play this one. Let's start like this. I also don't want him to get Op Nixlis with too much loyalty. If that's a control deck, they probably play it. Man, did they really miss that we can activate the second Bankbuster? Like, I'm too scared to risk it, but it seems this way. Do we do the manual sweep? You know what, sure. Like, we went so far, let's just do the manual sweep. This will force enemy to play new creatures. And with double march we can answer stuff. Okay, okay. See, he had it. If we activated the Bankbuster, we would take the bait. Oh man, Shaman. I do not accept you as you are. Jwari is land, definitely. We are so pressured, we don't really have time to do what we really want. Let's get this mana going. Alright, how the tapper wants to tap. Both of those creatures should go, because they are obnoxious. But we have to go like this. Alright, we are still at 18, so I'm not super scared, and like against Rakdos it's really risky to go low before you have shadows, because you cannot control when you draw the shadows. They're quite easy to be removed with Infernal Grasp decks. Yeah, he has like full hand of removal. Activating Bankbuster would be so painful. Alright. Alright. Sure, you got your one treasure. I hate it, but you got it. You have fought for it well. Alright. And let's start drawing so we can start blocking with those Bankbusters without losing any value. We are tapped out. If you want to do something, do it smart. This is definitely something we would like to counter. Alright. So, we could start attacking, honestly, but it's not my style. I want to kill the enemy with card advantage and not with the damage. So, with that being said, we are so... Man, like, Fables, please just ban those cards. They are so oppressive. Like, nothing enemy did the full game made any difference. We are basically fighting Fables since start of the game, and that's it. Do we go for it now? Like, we waste only one card, right? So I will actually do it. Of course, the sound broke. Like, I'm not... Alright, let's crew. And see what removal he has. He still needs to use it, so it will be one card less for him, and we will get to draw anyway. So, this is a blocker. Maybe? Who knows? You know, it's basically a free removal. Even if he casts something, we got so much value out of all this exchange. He lost a creature, he played a card, and we draw a card. Well, this is definitely pretty good, but we will keep the Syncopate for the next turn. We might draw into counterspells. Like, we have some hard counterspells, but of course we drew a land. That's cool. So he will go for Tibalt, right? Oh, nice. I do love it. One. Just one. Yes, it's all coming together. Alright, jokes aside, enemy is completely tapped out. I think we go for the Hive. We could either go for 11 damage and get him to 9, but then Kiki-Jiki is up. And Kiki-Jiki up means you lose the game. So we have 6 mana. We could go for 1 mana and get rid of the Ray. Honestly, it seems that like the best play right now. Let's just check the mana, just in case. Oh, never mind. I hope I didn't miscount it. Enemy is tapped out, so that's why this play is so good. And just in case, let's make sure that this will get sacrificed. And this is a lot of damage out of nowhere. So if enemy thought that he's the aggressor, he just had to change his mind. That's 11 damage. Alright, it means that you need to do something or you die next turn. And I guess he dies next turn? No, because we don't have the crewing thing yet. But we will get there very quickly. If we could activate the hive as well, that would be good enough. So he got a bit of more time, but not much. And we can Field of Ruin his den next turn. I don't think we play Meathook. We won't have any creatures. And I think having extra removal can be game winning. Alright, so he's forced to sacrifice it. Nice. So he went for like 2 turns protection. No man, if he didn't, he would die right now. That's pretty sweet. So we can Meathook for 2, right? This is tapped. Yeah, so it cannot block really. If we play like this, we don't really do anything because of the enemy Meathook. He has Are you freaking serious, Wizards? Oh my god. Fix that damn game. We just got disconnected. Alright, time to restart. Alright. Sound is completely broken, but at least game works. Yay. They have Field of Ruin, that's a problem. I don't know what's going on here. Alright, I guess... Okay, we have 1 timeout, so we can actually think about playing. We win, right? Because we still have Hive. I didn't realize it. And he cannot even activate the den. He might do it. Alright, so he can activate Field of Ruin in like when we answer it. Alright, this doesn't matter. Because if it is a creature, then it means that it can crew the Bankbuster. So let's see if he messes the triggers. He did mess them. It means that we can just crew and kill him. He needed to activate Field of Ruin before we attacked. Unless he has removal, but he doesn't. He messed up. He needed Field of Ruin before this is a creature. He wanted to be greedy and wait for extra mana to be tapped. And we were too smart for this one. Alright, we are going first. This is actually a really good hand. And by really good, I mean the one we actually want. So, already better than what we are usually getting. I kinda like those sleeves. Alright, so we of course start with the swamp. No questions asked, because we don't want to show the Syncopate. I guess there could be a way. Yeah, that was all planned. All of this was so planned. So we have removal, so we don't care about 2-drop, and we can answer the next play he makes. And having Bankbuster is just so important. Like, especially with counterspells, is just the second side of your strategy. If enemy plays something scary, you counter. If not, you draw a card. Otherwise, you just, you know, cannot really do anything if enemy doesn't play into your counterspells. And very often they play like 1-2 drops and just, you know, wait until you counter something, tap out, and then they play a real threat. So we need to allow those small things. And here we can just draw. Bro, what's up? Mickey Kiki, you need to play land. Alright, let's cut. Like, I mean, sure. I don't know what's going on, but I will actually take it. So, we play the same. Like, he might be just 1 land behind, unless he just got disconnected or something. It is possible with the current arena client. Like, he didn't really saw. Yeah, he's here. That was pretty weird. Anyway, in slower matchups, it won't be huge difference. We will in fact Syncopate, because it exiles. Evil laughter. Nice. Alright, so now we get more lands. Jwari is enough, because of, you know, reasons. So it means we can go double Bankbuster. Now we just try to stabilize the game and keep drawing cards. Enemy has way more than us, but we actually are ahead in value right now, because we have 6 cards here. And basically we don't need to do anything else. We just pass the turns and keep drawing cards until we have 8 lands, and you know, we go crazy. Completely crazy. And we probably kill the enemy with those Bankbusters. That's my idea. Bro, what's up? Either you are playing or not. Like, I don't get what's up. Of course, we will counter because it's Fable. Jwari is so good when you hit it. And we just go with the Bankbusters. Sure. I will get this one because I want to activate one of them as quickly as possible. He seems to have a lot of colors. We could Field of Ruin him. That is so tempting, but we will do it later. Like with 3 counters, man, I like countering spells so freaking much. Whenever I have hand with all counter spells, it just feels like, you know, life's complete. Power word kill. And this is the slowest player I have ever seen in Magic. Every single turn has like 15 seconds delay. That's worse than me even. And that tells a lot. So we will keep drawing with the Bankbusters. Like, man, come on. What the hell are we doing here? Like, it seems that he's just thinking so long, but he doesn't really do anything that isn't obvious. Alright, so he will target the one with the 3 counters, so it means that we need to counter it. We want Devious Cover-Up later, because we want to shuffle back all of our stuff. Also later. Alright. And we activated the first Bankbuster, and they can start attacking. Yeah, I'm not in such a hurry. Let's start attacking and giving enemy some pressure to think about. Like, to be honest, Jwari is such a good counter. Like, we will get counterspell out of it. So, probably we play like this. As long as we have Bankbusters, like, look at this, enemy is so much, like, so heavily pressured, while we don't really do anything. We didn't play any land, like, we played a 2-drop, a 2-drop, and a 2-drop, and that's it. So, enemy definitely will tank on this one for a year or two, so we will play with our dragon. Alright. So, this is something that we don't really care about, so we can just Jwari it. Man, enemy is just... he's tanking very long for this kind of decisions. Especially that it's visible that we are Dimir deck, so most likely we have 4 Jwaris. Anyway, let's screw. Like, we are not in a hurry, that's not really our plan to kill the enemy. Our plan to kill the enemy is stealing his stuff. And I think at this point we can go with some additional mana. Because now he might play around Jwari, and the fact that we have double counterspells for 2 next turns and like 8 cards that we can draw is enough to hit more. So he can target the full one as always. So for this reason we go for Syncopate for 3. We just, you know, counter everything. The stuff that every control player really likes. I feel like the scoop is very close here. If he attacks it, that's completely fine, sure. Like, we will activate them one way or another. We could even start attacking with the Hole and kill him in 2 turns, but I do not like, you know, killing so easily. Let's have some fun before we do it. But yeah, optimal choice would be just to go with the Hole. And you know what? Let's do it. I will do it because we have removal, and this makes him really think about the next turn. Because he needs to keep up the instant removal, and then we won't activate the Hole. If he plays a creature, we Soul Shatter, and probably activate the Hole if we have enough mana. We need to draw a land for this, but we can definitely do it. Yeah, and it speeds up the game, and we needed this quite a lot because the guy was quite a slow one.